guys, welcome back to the ranch. This time around on the AR-15 we're going to install a ambidextrous dual loop sling attachment. To do that we have to take off the buffer tube. So I'll show you how to do that. I've already gone ahead and loosened up the locking nut in the back so that it's just hand tight, and we'll unscrew that. As you're unscrewing that, you will notice there's a small spring right here, and what that spring does is that spring holds that's the loading spring for the detent that holds the rear takedown pin. Now that we've got this back nut loose, and like I say, you can see that that back plate's already starting to come off. To go ahead and remove the tube, we have to push in on this detent that holds the buffer and the buffer spring in place. Remove the buffer and buffer spring, and then we can just remove our buffer tube out the back. And once we've got that, then we'll change out our pads. Okay, once we've got our buffer tube out, replacing it's simply going to be just a matter of pulling the old backing plate off and putting the new backing plate back on. So anyway, once we've got this part, a couple things I forgot to mention to you. As you pull this back plate off, you're going to see a spring come out here. This spring here also has a plunger which prevents that back pin from coming apart, and then you also have this little spring and detent that goes right in there on the plunger tube itself. And the one thing I'll warn you about with this is make sure you let your finger off of it slowly and don't take your finger off, because it'll shoot that son of a bitch clear across the room. So anyway, now that we're ready to put this back together, just go ahead and put the springs and the detents back where they belong. We'll get our plunger tube started on there. Sorry, the buffer tube. Started back on there. And what we're going to do is we're going to screw that in. Just until it we'll hold that detent pin in place. And we're going to make sure our spring in the rear is in place as we go in with it. And trying to get this all in one pass without bending any springs. Okay, one more time. It's the flat of my knife to hold that in place. As we bring this back plate around, and what has happened is that spring has slipped off my knife, and we're trying not to bend it as we get it in there. Okay, now once we've got it in there, we'll tighten that castle nut up, and that should hold everything in place. Once that castle nut is tightened up here, and make sure that our pins still function, which it does, Okay, then we're ready to reinstall the buffer spring and the buffer. We'll go ahead and push down on that detent with this small punch to get it in past there, and that's held in place now. We'll use a wrench to tighten that castle nut up, and then once we've done that, then we can go ahead and install our buttstock back on, which is done by pulling down. Pulling it on until it clicks, and then adjusting it. Okay, so we managed to get our ambidextrous sling loop in place, and we've managed not to lose any springs or pins in the process. Hope you guys find this interesting. We'll talk to you later. Have a good day.